Hi, it's Leanne. I was at a conference this weekend and I was watching the interpreters and thinking about similarities and differences between interpreting and written translation. There are a few similarities. First of all, both must be bilingual, obviously. Also, both need great comprehension skills in the source language. So, for an interpreter, that means listening skills, and for a written translator, it means reading skills. And then also both have to be able to express themselves well in the target language. So for interpreters, that means speaking skills. And for written translators, it means writing skills. So both interpreting and written translation have some things in common, but there are some differences between the two activities. One of the first is in personality. An interpreter has to be comfortable in a public setting, but a written translator can often work alone in a quiet corner. Interpreters can use hand gestures to emphasize what they are saying, but written translators have to compensate by drawing on a large vocabulary and using stylistic writing techniques. Secondly, as far as work habits, an interpreter doesn't have the luxury of being a perfectionist. Because of the time constraints, the interpretation has to be given quickly. There's not much time to think it over. But when you're doing written translation, you can take more time to choose the best word or turn of phrase or sentence structure. Then there's the issue of focus. An interpreter cannot afford to let their mind wander for even a few seconds or they'll get lost. Translators have more flexibility with this, although obviously if they keep getting distracted, they won't be very efficient. Then there are some differences that relate to the three quality concerns that I often talk about in translation. So first of all is fidelity, and that means being faithful to the original message. Sometimes interpreters have to just summarize what the speaker said, but a written translator is expected to reproduce every thought in the other language. Second is readability, and that just means sounding natural in the target language. Sometimes a speaker makes this very difficult for an interpreter. They'll cut up their sentences, or they'll try to quote a poem or a song without warning the interpreter. A written translator, however, has the advantage of seeing the whole text in front of them, and they can take more time to make it flow nicely in the target language. And the last quality element is conformity, and that means good grammar, spelling, and punctuation. Now, the expectations about grammar are lower for spoken language. Generally, people don't get bothered by filler words like or by casual language, and we can't really tell if you're good at spelling or not when you're speaking. But there are much stricter expectations of written translators. Whenever something is put in writing, there are language standards that must be conformed to. Otherwise, people won't want to read the translation. Now, I know some people who are excellent at both interpreting and written translation, but many who I've met prefer one over the other, simply because of their personality and their writing experience. But I believe that interpreters can become good written translators if they are willing to develop their writing skills. Have a great day.